Got zero music on right now. All right, let's get some music rolling. Yo, what's good? Oops, all taken. What's good, bro? All right, I do actually really dislike these colors. And it's not a toolbox asset, or not toolbox, but a linked asset. That's actually annoying. I'm gonna do some small tweaks, and then I'll like say what we're doing in the stream today. Ooh, that's a nice brown. Maybe this down here is a little bit darker. So I wish these were, I don't know what they're called. It's not toolbox assets, but some other type of asset. Yeah, it looks, I don't know, a lot better, but definitely looks better. Wait, I'm confused. All these aren't the same? Okay. It was good. Did you see the video about Loki, the creator of One Plus Monkey? I think I did. Like, I think I watched like 3 minutes of it, and then I left. Apparently he's a normal dude. Like before this or whatever. He worked a job or whatever. Factory. Kinda cool. Hey, what's up, Andrix or Andrix? I don't know his surname. Hey, what's up? Yo, I guess I didn't even think I was gonna do like any map stuff today. But I guess I'm gonna have to do some map stuff to get these trees and vegetation. Like, not all of them are packages, which is kind of weird. Kind of weird. How do you get the motivation to live stream every day? I don't know. I mean, I didn't live stream yesterday, but I don't know. I mean, I do this full time, so kind of treating this like my job or whatever. Yo, what's up, Jay? My PC is always crashing and freezing. Might be good. Yo, rip. Might be cooked. That's right. We need some like other vegetation. Like some bushes, like, or grass. I don't know. I need a new PC. Oh, and then the screen takes 5 years to turn on the monitor. Yeah, rip, yeah. Add some flowers. Yeah, I tried before, but I gotta add something before that because the flowers just will feel like out of place or whatever. I'm building a horror co-op game. 5 players versus 1 monsters, or 1 monster. And those players need to collect scrap items to escape. And the monster is just asked to kill the players. Okay. Want to make a game together? Right now I'm kind of busy with this game, so I can't really take on any more projects. So the day Roblox like has keybinds for rotate and move and stuff like that, I'm gonna be happy. Anal, I don't know what's your name. Yeah, you can join. There's a Discord in the link, like, or in the description. Join it, and you can just message me. I need Roblox to hire a good team for a big game. Yeah, I mean, you'll need a lot of Robux. I don't know if hiring is the best course of action, unless you're just really rich for your first game. Wait, it has keybinds? Wait, one. Oh my gosh, yo, it does have keybinds. What? Yo. Oh my gosh. I didn't need to send the same message 3 times though. Yeah, GG's for NPC. Mega rip. Mega rip. Yo. This is actually peak. Now that I have like keybinds for rotating stuff, holy cow, it's gonna make me like so much faster whenever I start like getting the hang of like memorizing these type of stuff. Like rotation and move and whatever. Oh yeah, it's gonna be so much faster, bro. Oh, well, I pasted 3 times because it's the most important part. Yo, yeah, but you shouldn't do that. Yeah, I need to mess with these animations, but we're just looking at the trees right now, and also the hitbox are kind of cooked. Okay, looks like we gotta change some of these right here. Gosh, dang it, bro. Yeah, we gotta get rid of that. Holy cow. Oh my goodness, this is so bright. Yo, okay. This is your friend request. Bet I don't add people on Discord or Roblox, but you can just like message me like as if we were at it or whatever. Is the game published? Yeah. It's in the link in the description right now. You go play it. Uh, 14-hour work session. A little on the shorter side, but I'm glad you're working. Yo, there's no way I did the title to 14. Yeah, 4. Yeah, no reason. Yo, yeah, stream times are going to be through the roof in a little bit. Today I'm hoping to do like a 4-hour stream, and then I'm gonna go to like the gym and do some like art or whatever. Gonna come back, stream for some more, like probably another 4-hour stream. I said that yesterday and I didn't do it. Or I said the day before yesterday and didn't do it. No, it was yesterday. But dude, yo, Raisin. I am yeah, I'm thinking about doing an entirely new approach to like how I'm doing these streams. It's just, I don't know. You'll see, I don't know. I guess in the coming weeks or whatever, like a different feel or whatever. Yo, what's up, Sharon? Yo, since your friend request, accept it. Yeah, I don't accept, or I don't like add people on Discord or Roblox. But you can just message me. Like, my DMs are open. So just like pretend that we are added or whatever. What's the issue? Why we have 0 active on Punch 2 Simulator? Yo, because we haven't, it's still in testing. When we make a game, by the way, I'll be real, I don't know you, so right now, never. But if you, I don't know, if you're a good dev, maybe we can work something out in the future. Dang, bro. Might have to do this for all the grass stages, it looks like. Yo, what's up, Freaky Diddler? What's good, bro? Alright, one second. I gotta go, help do something real fast. So BRB. Alright, I'm coming back. Yeah, I swear, bro. If my OBS starts like crashing out, like if this is a new thing, bro, of like OBS just crashing. I say crashing, it's just stop streaming or whatever. It's gonna be frustrating. I don't know. It's done it the last 2 times. I don't know if it's gonna be a recurring like pattern or it's just a 1 off, 2 off like event or whatever. Dude, look at those keybinds, bro. I'm just like, these are so nice. Yo, what's up, Acid Tiger? I'm gonna guess that's how I say your name. Or Ace Tiger? I don't know. Yo, what's up? What's up? Not much new. Not much. Just building this game. Building this game up. I think after we do this, after we do these like map tweaks, I start a new like get a new play setup or whatever, and start working with the animations we've got. Try to polish that up a bit. Which will be a good learning experience, I think. Dude, what? Alright. Yeah, I'm actually really excited. I'll make an animation plus VFX handler, and that'll be a good learning experience. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. And then I'll also be doing like polishing stuff too. And if I ever need a break, I've got some fun items to do. I'm absolutely pretty good, not gonna lie. Yo, W, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. I think yo, bro, yo, Roblox development sucks. I say it sucks. I don't know actually compared to other stuff, but I just know some parts are just buggy, bro, and it's annoying. But yo, I'm actually so hyped to get that animation slash VFX handler like cooking. That'll be a really good exercise, and also it'll help with the polishing. But I mean, low-key, you could actually play the game right now, if you wanted to. I'll post it's published and everything on Twitch. There's no way to like go to the game, but on YouTube there is. Let me look up Roblox. Now you can play the game, give some feedback or whatever. Yo, you know what's so sad? I'm down to 15k Robux. Rip. I've recently been working on like a task manager, like that it does certain tasks in a specific order, and it lists them. It's cool. Okay. Like you talking about with like AI or whatever. By the way, here's the game link if you want to check it out. Posting it in the chat for Twitch. And it has a system where animations work smoothly and transitions. LOL. Yo, W. Oh, I need to do GFX 2. It's another thing. I'm probably gonna publish it soon, so others can use it for games. Gotcha, yo, WW. Alright, perfect, perfect. Let's do 30, come with 30. 30, 30. Looks a little bit better. You play the game. You like how multiple noobs, you punch them and fly away. It's kind of funny. Yeah, low key. Yeah, the game's kind of built around that ragdoll mechanic or whatever. Yeah, this looks a lot better. But you got like storyline. Yeah, we've thought about something like that. We don't have a good story though yet, so we won't have something like that out maybe anytime soon. But we're definitely open to the idea. Holy bro, how many parts do we have on the floor? Yeah, we've got something kinda like that, yeah, what's it called? We got like contracts. If you look over here, boom, that's kind of what we got. So yeah, we kind of got something similar. All right, let's just go look at the map real quick again. Thinking, oh, we got some floating things maybe? Nah, it's not floating. All right, let me go make a list for today. I think we just got the what's it called? Maybe you can add a storyline, and players can either choose to follow or ignore the parts for like extra cash. Not so much that it becomes easy, but the amount that makes it reasonable, so you still have to work to reach your goal or the goal. That's only my idea. You don't need to accept it or put in the game, but maybe like some kind of evil entity turned all the people into mindless noobs and have to work or through it to reach the big mountain and defeat him. Yeah, you know, we've actually brainstormed quite a bit of stuff. I think no, we've considered heavily on like what's it called, like a story or whatever, like some type of storyline, and yeah, so like something like that is like might be implemented. I like probably not going to be that specific idea. We're probably going to develop like a little story or whatever, but at the current moment we're like focusing on like just building the game's features and polishing it before we get into like storyline stuff like that, you know. But yeah, appreciate appreciate the feedback, man. All right, so yeah, let me get a little like I don't have a paper towel to erase all this stuff. All right, let me go get a paper towel. One second. The guy in the suit is the other developer. Hey, I'm gonna use the restroom real fast. So I'm gonna get a little like I don't know, 7-minute timer or whatever. Let me see. Boom. BRB. All right, bet. Alright, I'm back. Alright, let's start, Alright, let's, yeah. Let's get this thing rolling. Yeah, I want to get some stuff to actually erase this stuff. Alright, let me erase, like, all of this stuff. Alright, I think the only thing I'm keeping is this thing right here. Alright. So, let's see. Got a marker right here. Alright. I'm just gonna list some items out. Just be like side notes. So we got we need to do some thumbnails, so GFX thumbnails. Test/demo play setup. And that's gonna be like a animation controller. And then VFX controller. Okay. I also want to do some place props. Then general polish. This can be like gems. And then trail VFX. Let me see. Yeah. Also, just we gotta like build animations some more. Okay. So I think the first things first, we're gonna do a set up the all right, set up the test and demo place. Y'all can't read any of this. I'm sorry. Then we might do some polish. Then we do a thumbnail. Then we do maybe some animation tweaks. Then we can do some map props. Okay, but actually first, before we do all this, we're going to do balancing map out. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. By the way, yo, welcome Red Stories and Freaky Kaka. Yo, what's good? Oof. Did Crackers no stream yesterday? Yeah, rip. Make a rip. Yo, but we're back here today, yeah. Back here today, aren't we? Alright. So open up ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Now I wonder, can I actually do it like Can I do a chat or whatever with this thing? Hold on. Let me log out of this account. You log into another account or whatever. Ooh, maybe just go in settings. Yeah, one second. Let me get this cooked up before I put it on stream or whatever. Alright, we'll just go on this one, okay? Yo, I'm gonna do a test, okay? Yo, testing 1, 2, 3. Is this working?
Loud and clear, I hear you. What's on your mind?
Oh, wait. 1 second. Okay, so I'm working on some progression changes or revamps to our current game. And we're having some problems, okay? One problem we're having is progression is just getting out of control in the late game.
Right.
Right now, actually before we even go further into this conversation, what do you know about this game? And what might be some important new information that, like, whether like how we upgrade or do some other things that would be important to like kind of map out a better progression system that would be like more consistent and just better.
Let me check what I know. Okay, here's what I know. Your game is hit a noob. right? You're shifting from exponential to linear progression. So fixed increases per upgrade, like plus 15 strength. And stage no longer multiplies rewards. Stages decide which noob variants and levels appear. And each noob variant has a difficulty rating that determines its reward. And you're adding an item system with crates, rarities, weapon tiers, and effects. So I think what might be missing is a clear map of all the ways the player gets stronger. So, for example, strength upgrades, health upgrades, weapons, rarity bonuses, items, rebirths. If you have rebirths, I'm not sure. That matters because right now it sounds like too many systems might be stacking multiplicatively, which is exactly what makes late game numbers explode. If we list every source of power the player can get, then we can decide which ones should be additive, which should multiply, and which should just add variety instead of raw power. So I'd start by mapping all those power sources before setting exact numbers. Does that line up with the problems you're running into?
Yeah. So basically, a couple things to note or like update you on. Basically, we actually aren't necessarily going to linear progression. That's just like I do want to map out what linear progression would look like, but
Okay.
doing some sort of like I don't know exponential or logarithmic like type progression curve might be okay as well.
Right.
But yeah. So the main area, I will like map out more areas. Actually, no. We're gonna actually pause right here, and I'm gonna map out all of the areas that kind of like increase the character strength, and I'll get back to you from there. Okay.
Sure thing. I'll be ready when you are.
Perfect. Yo, Cobalt.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Yo, are you you want to talk about progression or right now I'm like discussing with AI some progression stuff.
Yeah, actually, give me a second. I'm gonna make like a timeline thing too. Hold on, I'm just debugging right now. Let me just
Okay, gotcha.
figure this shit out. Oh, come on.
All right, yeah, just
I
I want to be like continuing to chat with AI and then
yeah,
you just ping me whenever you're
I'll holla ya.
Okay, bet. All right, perfect. All right, what are some ways the character gets strength? Hold on. So I think hold on, if we do rebirths, hold on. What is this? Before 1x, after 1.4x? What is this? Like the amount of money you get? Let's see skills. Progression line. Bro, there's no way. By the way, what's up, DGRW2812 Dev? Yeah, what's good? And Dark Knight. I can't show you some gameplay right now. We're kind of working on some progression items, but yeah, we'll be doing some stuff that involves more gameplay in a second. In a second, I say not really in a second, more like in a long time, later the stream. Alright, that's one way. Also, looks like a Circle K cup. Yeah, yep, it's got it from Circle K. Got that right. Alright, what other things? Skills? No, we already did that. Contracts. You a solo dev? No, I'm working with one other person on this game. Keep going, looks amazing. Yo, appreciate it, man. Alright, and then upgrading your... Alright, I think that's everything. And rebirthing increases the amount of money you get. Okay, bad. Alright, let's just feed ChatGPT with some more context. Okay, bets. I'm back. Alright, these are the ways the player gets strength or whatever. So we got rebirth. Rebirths increase the money / reward you get just on a base multiplier right now. It's like a 0.5x increase or whatever. And then item upgrades. This is like, yeah, one of the big things that is actually different. So upgrading your character, we're kind of shifting from like instead of upgrading your character or whatever, you solely or mainly at least upgrade your items or whatever. And so let's say if you have like boxing gloves or a baseball bat, you would upgrade those things, like the attack speed or damage of these items. Also, unlocking better items through like crates or whatever with like RNG. That will like increase kind of your strength. Like let's say you get a legendary item that's gonna increase. You gotta upgrade that item, and those items or those upgrades are probably gonna be more expensive. But that would definitely increase your power / strength. Also, the progression line. These are like permanent upgrades that you get through leveling up. Just like if you get level 15 or level 5, you get like a progression point. And these are like more permanent upgrades. So that's like plus 5% cash reward through everything, and then plus 5% power increase for everything. And I think those are the main things, like main power increases for the player. Now, just some context for the game in general. How progression is going to go is basically player starts with just their fists or whatever, and they go and kind of what's it called? They go punch noobs, and once they fling noobs or whatever, they get money. And also there's contracts where they can do challenges for rewards, and either one, noobs are going to drop crates, or they're just going to be in contracts. It's probably going to be both, because we want to really fill this like the game up with as much RNG as we can where it makes sense. So yeah, and then like the crates can open up items or just basic rewards like a set amount of money or XP or gem amount or whatever. But basically, yeah, better crates will probably just give you items, and like yeah. But basically, after you've been fighting on a stage for a little bit, how to go to the next stage is there's a kind of a pay wall first, where like let's say to get stage 2 it's $5,000. Okay, so you pay $5,000, but then you have to, that allows you to be able to spawn the stage boss. Okay, and the stage boss, you have to defeat it in order to go to the next stage. And that's kind of how it's going to work for all stages. But yeah, that's some more context about the current game we have so far. What are your thoughts about what we have so far regarding to making a cleaner, easier to control progression system or whatever? Like I said before, personally, I want to go a more linear route just for more stable currency for like possible trading in the future. But I feel like it doesn't, like, if we don't do a linear route, that's okay. It's just like trading will be used for maybe purely gems or whatever instead of cash as well. Because yeah, we have two currencies right now. One is cash, which currently is the only actual like currency that we use right now in game. And then there's gems. And right now gems do nothing, but they're kind of like a more premium currency. Players can get kind of through like for free, but that's going to be like but they also buy it or whatever. But gems kind of don't have a place in the game yet. But yeah, that's kind of more context about the game.
Got it. Thanks for the detail. So if linear feels too flat and exponential feels too spiky, you could try a gentle curve. So maybe like slightly accelerating rewards and costs, like a curve that you can tweak by adjusting one ratio. And for upgrades, if items are the main growth, then permanent progression points could focus on small global boosts, like a few percent, not big jumps. That way, the late game doesn't explode numerically, but still feels rewarding. For trading later, keeping a stable baseline is smart, so not too many multiplier layers, because that keeps values more predictable. Gems could slot in as either rebirth rewards or rare crate rolls, but I'd keep them cosmetic or utility based at first, rather than pure power to avoid balance headaches.
You should focus
Do you
on.
want to sketch a quick curve for rewards so you can feel that difference?
What's it called? You should focus on either the upgrade tree or the shop. Both feels redundant. Add a combo system with knockback on the last hit and use the heavy punch instead of a click for better impact. The match structure and textures need an update. Give NPCs real abilities instead of just HP and damage to make it feel less boring. Take notes from the top games. More mechanics doesn't mean a better game. That last line is so true. More mechanics doesn't mean a better game. That's for sure. Yeah, when it comes to like map changes, I'm gonna be real. Like, I don't think it needs like much to the map or whatever. Yo, what's up? GRW2812 Dev. Welcome. Alright, yeah. Let me just focus on one thing. I did do commissions. I have done commissions before. I'm not taking on commissions right now. I think honestly having both the upgrade tree and just like the shop.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. 1 second. We're taking a break.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I think we can have both or whatever because it's a very, very common like progression line or progression like ideology. I don't know. It's like you have one that's like temporal progression that like is more reactive or whatever. Then you have a back end like thing that you can contribute to, make small contributions to it, and that like affects your player permanently even after rebirths. Very, very common in games or whatever. And to be honest, it doesn't like maybe how we're incorporating it right now is kind of bad, but low key we're just like plugging it in. And we're doing the rebalancing now to change it to make it make sense or whatever. About like noobs doing like different like mechanics or whatever, or different like attacks. Yeah, we might do something like that, but on a very basic level, very, very basic level to keep it simple. We do want to keep this simple, but honestly, I think the polishing of like hitting and making the hits feel satisfying and nice is really what's gonna affect the game the most or whatever. All right, you were talking about like, yo, do you want to tweak the curve or whatever? Which I kind of found a little frustrating. Like we're like not like I don't know. It's very, very abstract type a way to describe like what we're talking about right now. Really, I want to like break down kind of like what ideas / thoughts should be taking into consideration when either doing a linear or progression thing, like I said before, like an exponential / logarithmic progression curve. You know, like you got to keep these things in mind for your power increases, and then for doing linear, this is what you should keep in mind for these power increases. And then we can maybe break down like, you know, how do you get progression points or whatever? You know, like how do you get items? Let's say legendary items, okay? What if a player, you know, who has played the game for less than an hour gets a legendary item? Like, do they, like, what are the base stats? How is that going to affect their gameplay? And what should be the cost of their upgrade? Like, should it be very expensive, even though, like, you know, the new player can't kind of, like, upgrade it yet because they're still on the first stage or whatever? But also, and yeah, there's just, like, I feel like there's still a lot to talk about when it comes to progression. And saying, like, yo, let's tweak the curve, like, yeah, it makes no sense. It's, like, very abstract. Like, let's keep it real.
Yeah, that's a good correction. So instead of tweak the curve, it might help to talk design principles first. Like, how should players grow stronger? How fast should each source of power grow? And how do players access that power? Is it through the items upgrades, the progression tree, rebirths later? And how do you keep those things from breaking progression? Because that's really the crux of it. For a brand new player to get a legendary item, that's not a numbers question. It's a progression philosophy question.
Wait, hold up. Take another break for a second.
Sure.
All right, look, I'm going to look up a video for this. Like, how to make good progression. How to make good progression game or give up now. Dude, rep.
One of our earliest episodes of Extra Credits was about Skinner box mechanics, and why they're actually harmful game design. You can find the whole episode here, but the short version is that often progression systems in games simply boil down to a series of psychological traps meant to keep us grinding. Even when, if we stop to think about it, we realize we aren't actually having fun anymore. But progression systems don't have to be Skinner boxes. In fact, progression systems can be a beneficial addition to a game, and be
Wait, what?
here, but the short version harmful game design. You can find the whole episode here, but the short version is that in the early 1930s, a man named Burhus Frederick Skinner began to study psychology in a radical new way. See, before him, we only knew how to condition reactions. We could condition a person to be terrified of pumpkins or hungry at the sight of office supplies. But Skinner theorized that you could go one further. He theorized that you could condition volition, that you could change the way that people made choices. So why are we talking about it? Because a vast number of today's games are built upon Skinner's discoveries, and it's starting to become a bad habit. But before I get ahead of myself, let's take a closer look at what Skinner did. Skinner created a machine, a simple box with a button in it, that he would put pigeons in. When the pigeons pecked at the button, the machine would give them food. He then hooked the box up to a recording device, so he could tell how often the pigeons pecked the button. Seems simple enough, so why was this so groundbreaking? Because pecking the button is active. This wasn't just an automatic reaction to stimuli, it involved making a decision. So if Skinner could show that he could consistently change how often the pigeons pecked the button, he could show that he could condition them to make a specific choice. This is called operant conditioning. Now, there were two amazing parts to his findings. One, operant conditioning works on humans.
Ready
Two,
whenever you are.
simply rewarding someone every time
Okay, we're gonna turn this off 1 second.
they do an action isn't the best way to keep them continually doing that action. Rather, if you provide a reward to a person after they perform the action a random number of times, or only give a reward once every so many minutes, these methods are far more effective at conditioning someone to repeat an action. Skinner often talked about operant conditioning in terms of gambling. Most gambling games are not rigged in the gambler's favor, and oddly enough, most gamblers are well aware of this. And yet, they continue to gamble rather than perform an equally strenuous job that has a regular payout with a higher net profit. Consider which activity people will tell you is more fun. Spending 8 hours in a casino playing the slots and ending up with $100, or pushing a button in a factory for 8 hours and getting a paycheck for $100 at the end. This is all compounded by another discovery of Skinner's research. He demonstrated that primary conditioners, or rewards that are fundamental biological needs, food, water, sex, etc., have a diminishing effect once a person reaches satiation, or the biological limit of their needs. But then there are secondary reinforcers, things outside the biological realm, like money or social approbation. These things generally don't hit a satiation point. You can probably see where we're going with this. Many of you have played Farmville or World of Warcraft well past the point where it was fun. Why? Because those games are very clearly built around reward schedules. The entire design of both of those games is to condition you to continue to repeat an action that has long since lost its novelty, that has long since become tedious. Actually, before we continue, quick disclaimer. Being conditioned to do an action and being addicted to something are very different. We're not going to go into the addiction thing today, but I just wanted to acknowledge the difference. All we're going to talk about today is how games can condition us. Okay, disclaimer over. So why is it a problem if games do this? For now, let's ignore the questionable morality of using Skinner's theories to create games. The problem is that it's a lazy and cheap way to get someone to believe they're enjoying your product. Have you ever finished a game and then looked back a few weeks later and thought, what the hell was I doing putting 80 hours of my life into that? That usually happens because the game used Skinner's techniques to create the illusion of engagement and extend playtime. RPGs, especially poorly made ones, are a great example of this. Everything from loot drops to leveling is a very clear reward schedule that reinforces the behavior that gets you the reward. Ever been playing late and getting sleepy, but then decide that you're going to get just one more level before you go to bed? Yep. But this isn't just an RPG problem. It's endemic. Almost anything with points uses this system. Ask your grandmother sometime why she plays so much Bejeweled.
Is Vibe coding okay and worth it now? Yeah, I would say so.
But it goes beyond points, too. It works with anything that has a clear and manifest reward. Solitaire, the most played game in the world, sets up the infrequent win as a clear reward. Many action games use the same system to convince players to mash the same buttons for 12 hours straight. Even elements like the voiceovers in shooters that tell the player how awesome they are can be used as conditioning tools. It's also one of the main reasons every game is getting RPG elements these days. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with adding RPG elements if it's being used to create deep, immersive systems for the game. I'm actually a huge fan of this trend when it's used to combine mental challenges and execution challenges like in Call of Duty or Dungeon Fighter. But too many games are using RPG elements as a crutch. Bland, uninspired games will include reward systems simply to delay your realization of how terrible they are. My point is, there are other, better ways of fostering engagement, and those are the methods we should be demanding from our games, not simple Skinner box satisfaction. Here are a few examples. 1. Mystery. Human curiosity is a powerful thing. We like unraveling mysteries. We've all played a game that made us ask, what the hell's going on? Immediately followed by, I want to keep going to find out. 2. Mastery. The player can be engaged by giving him the opportunity to master a skill and then utilize that mastery. You see this sort of thing in rhythm games, fighting games, sometimes even RPGs. This one's a little tougher to execute in traditional games, but we already kind of talked about this in our Easy Games episode, so moving on. 3. Mental challenge. Oddly enough, most of us don't actually get enough mental stimulation in a day. From the thought problems in Professor Layton or Myst to the logic stomping of a Civ game, giving players a way to work their brains is a great way to keep people interested. 4. Narrative. You ever get lost in a world? Continued playing a game just because it was a place you wanted to be? This, as well as linear story narrative, is a great way to engage players. 5. Novelty. This one's hard to maintain, but...
Yo, holy gold! Oh my gosh. Bro, I'm actually so dead. I'm so dead. Merging the shop into the upgrade gives a clear goal. Top roller games blow up because they're easy to understand. Having two systems is just too confusing. Keep it simple. Yeah, I mean, look. I see where you're coming from, and right now, it might be confusing or whatever, but that doesn't make it a bad idea or like a bad system. It just means we need to implement it like differently / better in order to make it more understandable. I think having two systems is okay. It's not too complicated. Like, you know, I just think how we're implementing it right now might be just too cluttery, too weird. And that's what we're focusing on right now, making it like changing things to be very, very understandable, very, very easy. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
Human beings like new things. We're engaged by novelty. This is why brown shooters may wear thin, but Planescape doesn't. 6. Flow. Games like Everyday Shooter, N2O, or even a really good session of the original Alien vs. Predator can bring a player to a sort of zen trance. We've all been there at one point or another. Your eyes enter soft focus, your blinking slows, your breathing becomes incredibly regular, and you are just doing. There is no controller. You and the screen are one. You've stopped thinking in the ordinary sense of cognition, and instead are working on some much deeper level. This is very hard to design for. It basically involves creating rhythm within play, and then slowly demanding the player to start performing actions faster and faster, building momentum until they're performing the actions faster than they could possibly think through them. It's hard to pull this off as a designer, but achieving this experience is deeply compelling in a game. Now, this is just a small set of non-conditioning ways to make games fun, and no good game relies strictly on one. Most of your favorites combine many of these elements. So to all designers and future designers out there, we have to get away from this increased reliance on Skinner box methods of compelling gamers to play our games. Engagement and compulsion are different things. Just because you can make an experience compelling doesn't make it a good game. Well, thanks for watching. See you next week. Actually harmful game design. You can find the whole episode here, but the short version is that often progression systems in games simply boil down to a series of psychological traps meant to keep us grinding. Even when, if we stop to think about it, we realize we aren't actually having fun anymore. But progression systems don't have to be Skinner boxes. In fact, progression systems can be a beneficial addition to a game and be a great part of the experience, so long as they're actually part of the experience and not simply tacked on to train the player to come back, or to add play hours without adding content. Now, as a developer, I know that there are times when you need to put in a little grind to control the speed of play, to keep players from blazing through all your content faster than you can release more. But if you're gonna put in a progression system, there's no reason you can't also use it to make the experience better for the player. So let's talk about some of the ways progression systems can be used to improve a game. First off, they can add a long-term strategic component to the game. Most of our in-game decisions are usually pondered for a few minutes at most, but a progression system gives the player an opportunity to plan out and contemplate game decisions for hours or even days. To use the simplest example, let's compare the talent tree in a game like World of Warcraft to the system some JRPGs are still using too frequently, where stat boosts and new abilities are awarded to characters at each new level in a predetermined, unchangeable fashion. Anyone who's played an MMO knows how much time they spent thinking about their build, how they were going to maximize their damage output or squeeze out the last few points of healing, and that's an enjoyable part of the MMORPG experience. It adds to the game, and it gives you something fun to brainstorm about even during those dull parts of the day when you aren't able to play. It keeps you engaged with the game even when you aren't at the machine. That's just the simplest example, but using your progression system to provide an extra layer of long-term strategic play can add a great deal to a game experience. And especially if you feel compelled to use a timer or an energy system, at least provide your players with the engagement of plotting what they're gonna do with their energy while they're waiting, rather than just creating forced downtime. Be aware, though, in order to make a progression system engaging, you've got to reward the player for thinking through the strategic problem you're presenting them, but you've also got to give the player some way to backtrack if they're not happy with their solution. This is why World of Warcraft allows you to respec your character for a small cost. This way, there's still an incentive to think hard about the strategic problem of building your character, but you can't completely ruin your own experience by making mistakes.
Let's talk about some of the other ways we can use a progression system to benefit the player. Progression systems can also be a great tool for shaping your learning curve and limiting the complexity of your game. I'll use World of Warcraft as an example again, but lots of games do this. If, when you first logged into World of Warcraft, you were immediately given access to all the abilities in the entire talent tree, you'd feel really overwhelmed. A progression system can be used to introduce elements of the game to the player one by one, allowing them time to familiarize themselves and get comfortable with one facet of the game before moving on to the next thing they need to learn. The best thing about this approach is that, unlike standard tutorialing, the player has control over how long each step of the learning curve if they're not happy with their solution. This is why World of Warcraft allows you to respec your character for a small cost. This way, there's still an incentive to think hard about the strategic problem of building your character, but you can't completely ruin your own experience
You make games for money? I'm trying to.
by making mistakes. Let's talk about
What is this, 227?
some of the other ways we can use a progression system to benefit the player. Progression systems can also be a great tool for shaping your learning curve and limiting the complexity of your game. I'll use World of Warcraft as an
It's hard in Roblox. I would say, I don't know. Probably, I think it'd be easier. A lot easier to make money on Roblox than other game engines.
example again, but lots of games do this. If, when you first logged into World of Warcraft, you were immediately given access to all the abilities in the entire talent tree, you'd feel really overwhelmed. A progression system can be used to introduce elements of the game to the player one by one, allowing them time to familiarize themselves and get comfortable with one facet of the game before moving on to the next thing they need to learn. The best thing about this approach is that, unlike standard tutorialing, the player has control over how long each step of the learning curve takes. If a player has an element of the game completely figured out, they'll be more efficient in tackling that step's challenges, which in turn should make them progress faster, which means they'll get to move on to the next step quicker. This is one of the best ways to create a self-regulating learning curve. Which, of course, brings us to my next point.
320. Your map is finished? For the most part, yeah, I think so.
You can use your progression system to reward the most engaging types of play. As a designer, you can craft a system where the most efficient way to tear through your progression scheme also happens to be the most interesting, pushing the player to new heights of skill and encouraging them to master aspects of your game's mechanics that they otherwise never would have bothered with. Just make sure that your definition of efficient is the same as your players. If, for example, the designer is measuring efficiency in terms of time investment to reward, but players are measuring efficiency in terms of effort investment to reward, that's when something like the Destiny loot cave happens. from your player's perspective, if the most efficient way to progress turns out to be the least interesting thing to do, you don't want that. A progression system can also enhance your narrative or the feel of your game. Faction progression, where actions you take affect your alignment with a faction in the game's world, are good examples of progression systems that involve the narrative. On a more individual level, we can infuse our characters with a lot of personality and show character growth through the use of progression systems too. Let me explain. In most games, we spend the majority of our time with the mechanics rather than the written story, and so a character's gameplay abilities often shape our thinking about that character. The White Mage and the Fighter, for example, not only have different combat abilities, but in almost every game that gives them any character at all, they have different personalities. It's hard to write a character who's mechanically all about healing and protecting their companions exactly the same way you would write a warrior who's all about hitting stuff with an axe. Progression schemes also let us adjust our character's abilities over time, thereby showing growth and change in the character themselves. Lastly, progression systems can also provide a sense of cohesiveness and continuity to games that would otherwise lack them. Games like Dawn of War use the progression system to tie the battles together, to make the player feel connected to their units, and to give the single-player mode the sense of being a campaign rather than just a series of one-off missions. By using a progression system to create persistence, to tie instantiated events together, the player gets a sense of a holistic world, or at least a world that exists beyond the boundaries of the map they're currently playing. This makes it easier for the player to get immersed and invested. So there are many, many ways we can use our progression schemes to enhance the player experience. So many that even when we decide that our game needs a progression system in order to keep players from simply blazing through all the content, we can still make it more than a treadmill, more than a psychological trap. We shouldn't be putting in these systems simply because everything has a progression system these days, or because we need it to disguise lackluster gameplay. We should
Progression systems are in just about everything these days. They're in racing games, they're in battle royales, and they're even in
Yo, what's up,
RTS
Aiden?
like StarCraft. Over the last 10 or so years, levels, gear, experience, and character customization have burst out of RPGs and can now be found in virtually every major genre around today. A game having some sort of progression system isn't really a selling point anymore. These sorts of mechanics are an expected part of AAA design nowadays, and that got me thinking. Why? Why have progression systems seemingly become so ubiquitous? What changed? Surely there's got to be a reason we're now getting inundated with the same boring gear mechanics and the same treadmill leveling systems, right? For ages trying to write this script, I was trying to figure out exactly that, and it wasn't until later I realised I'd gotten it backwards. Now, hear me out, but I think progression systems in some form are a part of basically every game, and they always have been.
Numbers go up, incrementals are taking over. Maybe.
The way they work hasn't changed, it's gaming culture that's shifted. That's confusing.
Remember when I said I was going to make a Discord account? Yeah.
Let me explain. I think progression systems are a manifestation of something that's core to video games, and basically all storytelling mediums. The idea of change. Films progress forwards at a steady rate of 24 frames per second, and books only advance when you turn the page. But the pace of games is fundamentally dependent on the player. Therefore, games need something to give them that same sense of forward momentum. In other words, a progression system. It could be something as simple as a linear series of levels, or as complex as Path of Exile.
Well, I did, and I'm going to join your Discord. Perfect. If you ever want a fun podcast that you can do off stream, I'd recommend Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's if you like listening to more of science stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Neil, I know. Mr. Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah. I'll definitely check that out.
Our skill tree. What matters is that
I do like space. I do like space a lot.
keeps the player moving forwards towards a goal and experiencing what the game has to offer along the way.
Oh yeah, this is
Now,
definitely not the video I want to watch.
If you were to pick one phrase that belongs to gaming the most, I don't think you could find one better than level up. For a term that video game RPGs borrowed from their tabletop counterparts, the idea of leveling up has quickly found a home in so many other genres: action, puzzle, open world, first-person shooters, the occasional platformer. Lots of genres have adapted leveling systems in one form or another. But for an idea so broadly applicable, leveling up is a weird construct. A discrete, Noticeable, sudden improvement in your character's ability isn't a very realistic way to think about personal progress, and yet it's such a useful abstraction. It's a great way to streamline the concept of growth, and it fits perfectly in so many video games. It's a fantastic tool, but like any other tool, it can be used for good, and it can be dangerous in the wrong hands. Or just not be as effective as it could be.
Okay.
Let's talk about
I
leveling
won't judge.
systems,
I won't judge.
how to design effective ones, and how different games spin them to keep players hooked and make games fun and fresh.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. So the progression system one. Let's write some things down. Okay. Look. Just general thing. Like I'm gonna say general themes. So general themes. We want to keep. All right. We want. I'm gonna say. I want to say comprehension / understanding, and then put cozy. Okay. So. And I'll explain what that means. / comprehensive. And then I'll put arrow cozy. Okay. Cozy / over like so look, basically what we want like when onboarding is we want a very cozy, comprehensive feeling, okay? You know, there's two ends of the spectrum, okay? When a player joins and they're, taking on the information of the game, right? Where the player can either be one, overwhelmed with like all the new stuff that they're encountering and stuff like that, and it can be very, overwhelming and confusing, or they can get into the game, okay? They understand what they need to do, and they kind of just like find their little like area of the game, and it's just like it's a cozy experience, okay? Like there's so many like right now what we have right now. I'm not saying we're gonna change any buttons or anything, but just imagine for a second you join a game and you have and you're like before you even play the game, all you do is explore the buttons and you have like not played the game or whatever. We got shop, contracts. What the heck is this? This feels a little rebirths. We got skills. Like what even is this? We got all this stuff right here. Travel, that's like if you didn't even play the game and you're just like looking at the stuff. That can feel overwhelming. Okay. Also, we have stuff down here. So, it can. I'm not saying our game right now is not like understandable, but the goal is to get like more understandable. Okay. And I think how we can do that is locking, or one way. I'll put this one way of doing this is like locking parts of the game through levels. Okay, so you can't explore all of the game at once, okay? For instance, this might be the tutorial. Oh my gosh, this is great. This is a part of the tutorial. Look, the skills thing will be grayed out or like locked or whatever, and you cannot press it, okay? You know why? Because you don't need to experience like what that is right now, because that area doesn't apply to you because you have no progression points. So skills and stuff like that, / the progression tree, it's gonna be mid / late game stuff. So we're gonna lock that to like level 10. Okay, level 10. And another thing we do, like in contracts, let's say all of these are locked. So you got main and daily, but these two are locked at this is like level 10 you unlock, and level 30 you unlock special. Okay. Boom. That could give the player purpose. So what that actually does is that that gives not only this does two things actually. this prevents the player to be overwhelmed. And gives purpose. It's like, okay, let me, you know, get to level 15 so I can figure out what this part of the game is. Let me get to level 30 so I can see what the special side of the contracts are. Let me do, you know, like all these things. So, yeah, it gives us purpose or whatever, okay? And so that does two things, okay? But that's for the understanding and comprehensiveness, okay? Two, kind of the reward, the like psychological like reward system, okay? It's not like game mechanics or whatever, but like how periodically the player should feel rewarded on average, okay? And I think we're actually doing something that like one of the videos said, like I think it was expressing its frustration that like most games are doing this, but I still think it's good or whatever. Here, one second. By the way, it's kind of storming outside. Reward engagement. And then there's another type of engagement. Like, shoot, I gotta watch that video again. That video was so freaking good. That video was so good. I want to rewatch it, actually, just to figure out some stuff. Holy, that was a good video. Boom. It wasn't this one, but it was like... Yo, yeah, this one was so good, bro. Such a good video. All right, let me, Oh, I kind of want to see what this is.
Skill trees are one of my favorite mechanics in games. I love the anticipation and payoff of getting.
I'll actually watch that too. Okay, I'm gonna go AFK for a second, use the restroom. So BRB, 7 minutes maybe. That's like low-key, just about how long or whatever. So let's go clock. Yo, and on Twitch, I'm gonna run this is my first ad that I'm gonna run on Twitch. Just because I can. Alright, 7 minutes though. I'll be back. Yeah. Yo, I got, bro, I hate, I'm gonna just say it, every single time I use the restroom, it's a 10-minute timer. Like, yeah. Low key, bro. Holy. Just low key frustrating. And if I'm early, I'm early. Um, Alright. I'm back. Yep. Alright. Smooth operator. Alright, let's watch this again.
In the early 1930s, a man named Burhus Frederick Skinner began to study psychology in a radical new way. See, before him, we only knew how to condition reactions. We could condition a person to be terrified of pumpkins or hungry at the sight of office supplies. But Skinner theorized that you could go one further. He theorized that you could condition volition, that you could change the way that people made choices. So why are we talking about it? Because a vast number of today's games are built upon Skinner's discoveries, and it's starting to become a bad habit. But before I get ahead of myself, let's take a closer look at what Skinner did. Skinner created a machine, a simple box with a button in it, that he would put pigeons in. When the pigeons pecked at the button, the machine would give them food. He then hooked the box up to a recording device, so he could tell how often the pigeons pecked the button.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I have an idea for something. Okay. Gotta write it down real quick. It's gonna be a second, actually. What are you studying? Right now, just like some basic game design principles or whatever, like psychology principles, stuff like that. Just to help with like making a better game. Hold on, just yeah, writing some stuff down. It's gonna be a actually we'll play a video while I write this down. Cause I'm gonna write this down, like write some stuff down for like the next little bit. So do some. Yeah. Well, low key. We just watch this.
My Roblox game makes
I bet y'all can watch this
$28,910 a month.
while I write
Here
this
are
down.
all
Okay.
the lessons I've learned. No gatekeeping, no fluff. Real quick, for all the skeptics, here's proof. Let me actually just show you real quick. You can see how many concurrent users we have. I'm going to go to monetization. You can see how much Robux we've earned. And when you break that down, that's 963 USD a day, which comes out to almost 29K a month. Okay. This video is not meant to flex, rather to inspire and share with you all my learnings, because I literally got started on Roblox in September 2025. So I've only been on this platform for around 8 months. I just recently got verified. I just had another game hit 1K CCU literally today that I just launched a week ago. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh man, this is, this guy got lucky, whatever, I want to show you something real quick. And again, this is not to flex, this is just to inspire and share with you guys. What I'm going to talk about in this video is principles, mindsets, mental frameworks that have helped me have success across multiple different industries with multiple different businesses. If you think this is LARP, you can DM me. I don't give a fuck. I'll show you screenshots of Stripe account dashboards. Does not matter, dude. Because before I got into Roblox, I scaled a high ticket coaching program to 30K a month. Again, don't believe me? I don't give a fuck. DM me. I'll show you proof. I scaled an e-com agency to 55K a month, and I scaled an e-com journal brand to 30K a month. Okay. So this Roblox game, success on Roblox, it's not my first go round with success online business in general. And the reason I believe I was able to reach success so quick on Roblox, having only started in September of 2025, having been on the platform for a year, is because of all of the mindset and mental frameworks that I've learned from previous business success. So in this video, I'm going to break down 7 lessons that I have learned, not just from Roblox, but from successful business ventures in general, that you can apply to hit the ground running and get a successful game, man. If you guys don't already know, if I go here into the wins channel, dude, this guy just hit his first 2K CCU. This guy, 500 CCU, probably scaling even harder now. This guy absolutely getting crazy impressions on his thumbnail. You can see Coach T right here, 21 minutes average play time, scaled that up. 132 CCU is first. This guy DevX'd 3.7K weapons in here. This guy hit his first 100 CCU. This guy 74 CCU. This guy 98 million visits on his game. This guy 1K CCU on his game. This guy 871 CCU on his game, all green stats. This guy 44 minutes average play time. This guy 5.4 million visits, 3.3K favorites, 791 CCU, 1 mil visits, first 2K CCU, 6.3K CCU active, another 6.3K, 1.3K CCU, another 6K CCU, 28K CCU, 4K CCU, 1.4K CCU, 1.2K. Just absolute killers in here, man. Just absolute killers. So, without further ado, let's dive straight in. Lesson number 1 is don't settle for mediocre devs. Okay, for this game Hack a Business, we needed modelers for an update. And I burned through 4 modelers before finding my ideal modeler. And I just was speed running through this shit, dude. Like DMing these guys like crazy. And what I would suggest is give them a task before hiring them. So for these 4 modelers, we needed 20 models made. So I just said, hey, dude, can you send me back a quick sample model of like the work that you plan to do, just so I can see what your work would look like, see if you're the guy for the job. And I'd basically just send them the file. They send me back an example. And, you know, instantly I know if they're the guy or not. There was an instance where I hired a guy. He sent me back a good example. Okay. Work was good. But 12 hours later, he said he would have 3 models done. None of the models were done. I fired him instantly. Like, you cannot fuck around with this shit. You set the standard. If your team moves slow, if your team doesn't do quality work, it's your fault, bro. You need to have radical ownership over the results you're getting. Either it's a training issue, a hiring issue, or you just didn't set the standard right from the gate. So lesson number 1 is don't settle for mediocre devs. You set the standard. Lesson number 2, money loves speed. So does Roblox. First week of Hack a Business, even for this recent game I just launched with Gage that we hit 1K CCU today. First week, we were updating daily, sometimes twice a day, bro. So you want to check your data, form a strong hypothesis, move fast, make updates fast. I've made several videos talking about how to form a hypothesis, how to improve your stats fast. Check my channel for that. Let's move on to the next lesson. Lesson number 3, play your game a lot. Too many devs simply just don't play their own game, and you want to watch what players do, especially new players, okay? If you're programming all day, ideally your project manager does this, or someone on your team, you have a dedicated team of testers that can play your game regularly. Usually what we do is we have our live game, then we have a test place. We send a link to the test place to our play testers. And if you don't have play testers in your network, you can go to a Discord server called QA Central and hire play testers. And that's what we've done for this recent game that hit 1K CCU. So lesson number 3 is just play your game a lot, dude. If you're not at the top of the leaderboard in terms of playtime for your own game, you're not testing enough. That's what I would say. Lesson number 4, underrated one, is network. Okay. But when you're networking, and guys, trust me, I've gone to a lot of business conferences, particularly for internet marketing, you know, funnel hacking live of ClickFunnels, ecom meetups. You want to offer value. Don't just ask for free stuff all the time. Okay. Here and there, it's good. But like with any relationship, dude, it's a give and take, right? Relationships are a 2-way street. Okay. I get so many DMs saying, hey, Tizzy, can you review my game? Which, guys, trust me, like, I would love to help every single one of you if I had the time, but bro, I just simply don't have the time. When it comes to networking, though, usually you want to offer something of value. When I was first getting started, I just hit up top devs that said, hey, can I pay you for a consultation call? Okay, I offered money. That was the thing I could offer in terms of value. If you don't have money, there might be something else. Maybe you played their game. Maybe you found a bug. Maybe you just need them, hey, I found this bug in your game. Just want to let you know. It looks like it's game breaking, etc., etc. Like, stuff like this, bro, no offense to you guys, but like, I can tell that this kid's probably like 12 or 14 years old saying, yo, Tizzy, hello, bro. Like, answer me.
Yo,
It's
Tizzy's
like,
the real
listen,
go,
this
bro.
is a
You know
tough
it.
lesson to learn. No one owes you shit, bro. Again, I would love to help every single one of you watching this video if I had the time, but no one owes
Yo, I
you
want to wait.
shit,
Hold on.
man. You have to bring something to the table. This is business, guys. This is business, all right? These are lessons I've learned not just from Roblox, but again, not to freaking LARP it out, but like, I've had success in several different businesses. Okay, I'm 29 years old. I had my first ecom business when I was 18, bro. I've been making businesses for the past 10 years. Okay, almost 11 years. Think about that. These are lessons that I've learned going to physical in-person networking events, bro. Shaking hands, meeting people, getting in rooms with people that make a lot of money. Trying to help you guys with this video. Now, lesson number 5, and we're going to get into some more mindset stuff as well, is test thumbnails, but test a lot of them, dude. Overall, I would say you guys are just not doing enough. So like for this build game that we just launched, okay, 1K CCU, dude, we're running ads. We were testing 50 thumbnails, okay? There's 25 thumbnails you can add per campaign. We ran 2 separate campaigns, each with full 25 thumbnails, different thumbnails. You guys are just not doing enough, man. You're not testing enough thumbnails. You're not playing your game enough. You're not looking at feedback enough. You're just being lazy, bro. I hate to break it to you. You're just being lazy. You gotta do more, man. I'm in a different mode, dude. I got a kid on the way, bro. I'm moving with urgency, dude. I'm not fucking around, man. I got a family to feed. You understand what I'm saying? It's different if you're a teenager, you're enjoying your life, but like, dude, if you want to win, you got to understand the people at the top, they're doing not just twice as much as you're doing. They're doing 10 times as much work as you're doing. And if you don't have money to hire out, bro, you got to grind, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. And what I realized with thumbnails is AI is going to let you move way faster than a graphic design artist, okay? And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but like I've never once hired a thumbnail artist that has beaten my CTR or PTR. Like not a single time, dude. And it's simply because I look at data and I test thumbnails a lot. It's just a volume game. A lot of these thumbnail artists have never even run their own game. They've never even run an ad campaign. They don't even know how well their thumbnails perform. So just keep that in mind. Use AI. It lets you move a lot faster. If you can find a thumbnail artist that can beat my CTR or PTR, dude, please DM me. Like, I don't want to make thumbnails anymore. If you're a good thumbnail artist, like DM me that has actual good proof that you've improved CTR or PTR. Lesson number 6, relentless focus. This is probably the most important thing that 90% of you don't have. And again, I'm not saying this to beat you up, dude. This is just a reality check. Okay, a lot of people just hang out in Discords. They just yap in general chat. They send memes. They just fuck around. They're not focused. They're scrolling TikTok. They're scrolling Instagram Reels, scrolling Twitter. I like to scroll Twitter, man. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I never scroll social media. But, dude, you got to lock the fuck in, homie. You got to lock the fuck in. If a stat is low, focus on that stat and only that stat until it improves. Let me show you guys something for Hack a Business. Okay. We had terrible, absolutely terrible bounce rate. Look at this. It was way too high. You want a low bounce rate, by the way. Okay. Recently, we locked in. Look at it went from 21% down to 15%. And now our game's getting more home rec impressions because we locked in, focused on the stat, improved it. All right. Now, again, how do you improve a stat? Study other games, ask your network, brainstorm, get feedback. Improving even one stat can get your game twice the amount of impressions. Once we improve bounce rate, dude, our game went from like hovering at around 2.5K CCU to 3K CCU back up to like 4.5K CCU just by improving bounce rate, dude. Think about that. Okay? Stop yapping at Discord servers, wasting time. Move with urgency like your life depends on it, dude. You gotta understand, even some of these top devs that came into a lot of money, a lot of them are already getting distracted, bro. Why? Because they have tons of money now. They party, they travel, they're losing focus, bro. And someone's catching up to them. And it can be you, homie, if you just lock the fuck in, dude. Move with urgency, bro. You're telling everyone in your family that you want this so bad, but you're not acting like it, dude. And that's the fucking reality, bro. You're not acting like it, okay? You need to see it, believe it, act upon it to achieve it. You feel me? Let's move on to the last one. And this is, again, another one that I've seen a lot in the server is, bro, be patient, okay? Be patient. Usually it takes 24 hours for most data updates, sometimes 3 days in early launch, right? Like we still don't have our D1 data for this game we just launched that just hit 1K CCU. it takes some time for the algo to study and find the pocket of audience it needs to deliver your game to. When you ship an update to your game, make sure you cross-reference multiple data sources. Okay? This is how you win, bro. When you're coming up with an update or a change to your game, cross-reference multiple data sources. I've talked about this in
Yo, what's up,
several
Freaky Diddler?
videos. Watch my channel. You'll get what I'm saying. For example, one data source could be competitor research. The next data source is you're seeing a drop off in your onboarding funnel data. The third resource is maybe you're seeing under engagement, right? If you go here to engagement, this is a very important stat that I love to look at. Maybe you're seeing a drop off here in new user first session retention. Okay. You want to look at multiple data sources to form a hypothesis and make sure that this update you're about to launch has legs to stand on. Each data source gives a hypothesis legs to stand on. All right. I'll tell you guys a little story. I knew a guy had an insanely well polished game. Like, I mean, really, really well done. Like, I low-key wanted to buy into it. It was such a good game. Someone beat me to it. It's fine. He launched it. It quote-unquote flopped, which is, you know, flopped depending on whose definition, right? Competitor came in, launched an identical game. Exact same core loop, exact same mechanics, everything. Made a slight change to the map. Competitor game got 10k CCU.
Yo, I want to send this to Cobalt.
Slight change. He launched it. He wanted to buy into it. It was a well-polished game. I knew a guy.
13 minutes. 13 minutes. Okay, bet. Is there a site to see all the Roblox maps? Yo, no. You just have to go play. I mean, Roblox. Roblox is the site. You go on Roblox and you go play people's games and see the maps and stuff like that.
Had an insanely well-polished game. Like, I mean, really, really well done. Like, I low-key wanted to buy into it. It was such a good game. Someone beat me to it. It's fine. He launched it. It quote-unquote flopped, which is, you know, flopped depending on whose definition, right? Competitor came in, launched an identical game. Exact same core loop, exact same mechanics, everything. Made a slight change to the map. Competitor game got 10k CCU. Think about that. If this guy didn't give up on his game so soon, he could be sitting at a game with 10k CCU. Okay?
Yo,
So
what's up,
there's
Greeny?
edges,
Yo, what's good, bro?
right? You could literally be one update away. Let me underline this shit. You could literally be one update away from your game exploding. But you have to use discernment. What's discernment? You have to use your own judgment to know if this game is worth it or not. And you'll know if it's worth it or not if you've done your research, okay? You've done your competitor research, you've done your market analysis, you've looked for a gap in the market. I've talked about this in tons of videos. And you want to try to avoid spending months building a game, adding too much shit to it. Just fucking launch it, dude. Because this game that you've been, you know, circle jerking in your mind, thinking like, oh, this game's going to be so good, I can't wait to launch it. Dude, you're in for a world of trouble, a rude awakening when you launch the game and it doesn't do well, because the real work begins, dude, when you actually get data. Then you're updating daily, sometimes twice daily, bro. Okay?
1440. Let me redo that actually. 1440.
Listen, guys, I make these videos because I genuinely do want to help new up and coming developers. Genuinely. Are there things that benefit me by making these videos? 100%. Networking, I mean, game deals, all those things. But I don't have to fucking make these videos, bro. I don't make any money from these videos. I think my YouTube has made me $100 in ad spend. Literally $100 I've made from my YouTube channel. Think about that shit. Okay. Genuinely, I think there's so many talented devs in this platform. And usually it's those devs that are either 15, 16, or 17. And they
Reminds me of my Discord bot I built last year. It was doing well. Was in 200 Discord servers before I pulled the plug on it and another website, and I built for documentation Tignity. Rip.
just need a mindset shift, bro, to get to that next level because so many of you guys are so talented, but you're not focusing. You're not being patient.
Alright, yo, bet. Okay. Yo, low-key, this live is all over the place. Holy cow.
Getting powerful abilities, and the process of shaping.
Wait, wrong one.
Seems simple enough, so why was this so groundbreaking? Because pecking the button is active. This wasn't just an automatic reaction to stimuli, it involved making a decision. So if Skinner could show that he could consistently change how often the pigeons peck the button, he could show that he could condition them to make a specific choice. This is called operant conditioning. Now there were two amazing parts to his findings. 1. Operant conditioning works on humans. 2. Simply rewarding someone every time they do an action isn't the best way to keep them continually doing that action. Rather, if you provide a reward to a person after they perform the action a random number of times, or only give a reward once every so many minutes, these methods are far more effective at conditioning someone to repeat an action. Skinner often talked about operant conditioning in terms of gambling. Most gambling games are not rigged in the gambler's favor, and oddly enough, most gamblers are well aware of this. And yet, they continue to gamble rather than perform an equally strenuous job that has a regular payout with a higher net profit. Consider which activity people will tell you is more fun. Spending 8 hours in a casino playing the slots and ending up with $100, or pushing a button in a factory for 8 hours and getting a paycheck for $100 at the end. This is all compounded by another discovery of Skinner's research. He demonstrated that primary conditioners, or rewards that are fundamental biological needs, food, water, sex, etc., have a diminishing effect once a person reaches satiation, or the biological limit of their needs. But then there are secondary reinforcers, things outside the biological realm, like money or social approbation. These things generally don't hit a satiation point. You can probably see where we're going with this. Many of you have played Farmville or World of Warcraft well past the point where it was fun. Why? Because those games are very clearly built around reward schedules. The entire design of both of those games is to condition you to continue to...
Today is a study session, tomorrow is a work session, LOL. Hopefully this afternoon. I'm going to take I said this yesterday or the day before, 3-hour break, and I never did a night stream. But hopefully today, I'm going to take a break, hit the gym, do some arts or whatever, and just come back. And really, look, I really, the biggest thing that prevents me from streaming, if I don't hit a stream, it's low-key because whenever I hit stream, I feel like I need to be there for, at least 4 hours. 4 hours minimum, okay? And sometimes I just feel like I can't do that, all right? I probably can do it, but just, self-doubt or whatever, I'm I can't sit down for 4 hours, maybe it's getting too late or whatever, or maybe there's some things coming up, and I don't stream. And I just delay it and delay it until it's actually too late. So what I need to do is, I need to be okay with streaming for 30 minutes. Just be, I need to be okay. Yeah, it's going to be terrible for, the channel. But it'll be better for my work. I don't think I'll ever actually stream for 30 minutes. If I do start stream, normally, I'll go for, 2 hours, no problem. But yeah, low-key, that's why. I could have streamed yesterday, but, I kept on just, dude, I don't want to sit down and work for 3 hours or whatever, because I was crazy demotivated. But yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, that's, but yeah, today, I'm gonna go, after this 4-hour stream, so we got, an hour and 20 minutes left of the stream. I'm gonna go hit the gym, do some art, probably do some other stuff, things happen in life. I need to also, give some buffer, time. I might go eat supper, talk to my family, stuff like that. But then, yeah, and then get back at it. And hopefully we do some, good work. I feel like the only thing I've done this stream is, change some map props or whatever. And then, plan for... But what we're doing now, with game progression is insanely crucial. Oh my gosh. It's probably way more important than anything I would actually do, like work related right now. This thing is insanely crucial. How far is the gym? I think it's about 10-minute drive.
Repeat an action that has long since lost its novelty, that has long since become tedious. Actually, before we continue, quick disclaimer. Being conditioned to do an action and being addicted to something are very different. We're not going to go into the addiction thing today, but I just wanted to acknowledge the difference. All we're going to talk about today is how games can condition us. Okay, disclaimer over. So why is it a problem if games do this? For now, let's ignore the questionable morality of using...
Yo, change your drip. Yo, that's the first time in the last 5 streams that you've came here and not said, yo, I'm back, or whatever. But yo, what's up, bro? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back.
Skinner's theories to create games.
Right now we're kind of like studying or looking into the just basic human psychology when it comes to like game stuff. I just joined stream and stay silent. Yeah, I get you. But yeah, what's it called? Like we're kind of like oh, and by the way, Lewis WR, bro, I didn't even see your thing. How do you build this discipline? Shoot, bro. I don't know. I think it's just a long process. I don't know if you're still in the stream, but into your chat. My bad. But yeah, we're learning basically about like just game stuff or whatever. Like what makes the game fun, basically. Just game design stuff. Could you show us your art? Yeah, I can pull up. Yeah, I actually have an Instagram account, but I don't want people to follow. Low key. I mean, I guess. Actually, it's okay. Low key, yeah. I don't want like my personal friends and family following this, but like, cause I don't know. I'm a very private person. As in introverted. I don't like talking to people about me. You know, I'm totally fine to talk to people, but like, I don't want to talk about what I'm doing. It's just like it feels tedious, but like if it's like people from the stream following my work, is actually no problem, because like I'm never gonna like interact with anyone like IRL from the stream probably, so it's low-key totally fine. But yeah, look, this is the switch.art, and this was like my last drawing. This was pretty good. I like this one a lot. Got some other stuff. But like, dude, I was drawing every day for a long time. And you can see like at the very beginning what it was. Like, yo, this is what I was starting with. I'll actually full screen this, okay. You know, this is pretty good. It's okay. But like, yo, I mean like, I definitely grown up. Yo, this is how I painted, bro. I didn't know how to paint. Yeah, look at this, bro. This was so good at the time. Oh my gosh. Practicing stuff. This was really good. I improved so fast. Holy cow. I really like this one, but you can kind of see how I improve and stuff like that. I really like this one right here. Boom. This one's pretty good. This one's really good. I really like this one right here. This is like purely paint. Like there's no lines drawn. This is just me painting. But yeah, it's kind of like. But I'm gonna start. I'm hopefully one day gonna get posting again. I try again. I want to make a pixel art game. Yo, I really do like pixel art. Pixel art's really good. And I think Roblox has like a 2D pixelated game, but I wouldn't probably recommend making it on Roblox. Probably like Godot or something.
The problem is that it's a lazy and cheap way to get someone to believe they're enjoying your product.
All right, yo. So I'm thinking, and so reward/engagement, plus game engagement. And these are two separate things. Okay, so reward engagement is like, yo, it's kind of like that lottery feeling. It's important to learn code. Yeah, you should definitely be familiar with code. You know, AI can definitely do a ton, but not only knowing like, you know, like learning actually how to code, like, you know, how to correctly write a for loop and how a for loop works or whatever. You know, that part is becoming less and less important and more of just like coding concepts, like data. Actually, not even data structures or anything like that, but like, um, I don't know, just like learning about systems, learning how they work and stuff like that. Um, Learning, yeah, what systems are used in like what context and what they do and what are their benefits and cons. But I don't exactly know an optimal way to learn something like that. So, but also knowing like actually how to write a for loop, a while loop, you know, function stuff like that. That's, I mean, I'm learning it because I think it's important. But some other people might argue with that. All right, but look, so the reward engagement is like how much like the player like feels like a boost or whatever, an artificial boost, and then gameplay engagement. This is like our core gameplay stuff. Like I don't know, I think this is like gameplay engagement, low key. Like it's like it should feel good without polish. Like polish should make it feel 10 times better, but low key, like I don't know. It talks about it in this game a little bit. Did you learn how to code? Yeah, a little bit. I like for a year, I like off and on learning coding stuff like that. I think I spent like a good 2 months, like really like doing hours and hours a day of coding. But I would not say I'm a crazy good. I mean, I can read and understand code to a certain extent. You know, there's some stuff where I look at it and if I don't know like what the solution, if I don't know the context about the situation, I'm just reading code. I might be like, I'm sorry, especially if it's a big like function or whatever, and like. But if I know the context of the situation, I can like yeah see what the code's doing and understand it pretty well. But I wouldn't say I'm a good programmer or anything or a scripter.
Have you ever finished a game and then
All right, wait, yeah. So engagement of the game. Yeah, we'll just finish this video, I think, cause yeah.
looked back a few weeks later and thought, what the hell was I doing putting 80 hours of my life into that?
I stopped manually coding. I use AI now because it's gotten so much better. I have fundamentals of coding down and was doing it years before AI. WW. Yeah, I think low key. Look, I don't even know how to describe like the difference, but like, look, you can code, as in you can use AI without knowing zero code. Okay, but knowing how to code and just being a good programmer and like and still like vibe coding basically 80% of your code base, um like it's just like I think it's like so much better, like as in the results you'll get is so much better, but like I don't know exactly, like I mean I guess the best way to put it is like, look, AI will do something um well, like it might solve a problem, but maybe it might not be solving either the problem in the correct way that would make sense for the context of, you know, your specific game. Or you see, I don't even like saying that because like but it might do something that would be good, but it might not be like the best way to go about it. And that's where you can kind of correct it. But you kind of have to have that like internal knowledge about coding to understand that, to understand what's going on. But yeah, that's I don't know.
That usually happens because the game used Skinner's techniques to create the illusion of engagement and extend playtime. RPGs, especially poorly made ones, are a great example of this. Everything from loot drops to leveling is a very clear reward schedule that reinforces the behavior that gets you the reward. Ever been playing late and getting sleepy, but then decide that you're going to get just one more level before you go to bed? Yep. But this isn't just an RPG problem. It's endemic. Almost anything with points uses this system. Ask your grandmother sometime why she plays so much Bejeweled. But it goes beyond points, too. It works with anything that has a clear and manifest reward. Solitaire, the most played game in the world, sets up the infrequent win as a clear reward. Many action games use the same system to convince players to mash the same buttons for 12 hours straight. Even elements like the voiceovers in shooters that tell the player how awesome they are can be used as conditioning tools. It's also one of the main reasons every game is getting RPG elements these days. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with adding RPG elements if it's being used to create deep, immersive systems for the game. I'm actually a huge fan of this trend when it's used to combine mental challenges and execution challenges like in Call of Duty or Dungeon Fighter. But too many games are using RPG elements as a crutch. Bland, uninspired games will include reward systems simply to delay your realization of how terrible they are. My point is, there are other, better ways of fostering engagement, and those are the methods we should be demanding from our games, not simple Skinner box satisfaction. Here are a few examples. 1. Mystery. Human curiosity is a powerful thing. We like unraveling mysteries. We've all played a game that made us ask, what the hell's going on? Immediately followed by, I want to keep going to find out. 2. Mastery. The player can be engaged by giving him the opportunity to master a skill and then utilize that mastery. You see this sort of thing in rhythm games, fighting games, sometimes even RPGs. This one's a little tougher to execute in traditional games, but we already kind of talked about this in our Easy Games episode, so moving on. 3. Mental challenge. Oddly enough, most of us don't actually get enough mental stimulation in a day. From the thought problems in Professor Layton or Myst to the logic stomping of a Civ game, giving players a way to work their brains is a great way to keep people interested. 4. Narrative. You ever get lost in a world? Continued playing a game just because it was a place you wanted to be? This, as well as linear story narrative, is a great way to engage players. 5. Novelty. This one's hard to maintain, but human beings like new things. We're engaged by novelty. This is why brown shooters may wear thin, but Planescape doesn't. 6. Flow. Games like Everyday Shooter, N2O, or even a really good session of the original Alien vs. Predator can bring a player to a sort of zen trance. We've all been there at one point or another. Your eyes enter soft focus, your blinking slows, your breathing becomes incredibly regular, and you are just doing. There is no controller. You and the screen are one. You've stopped thinking in the ordinary sense of cognition, and instead are working on some much deeper level. This is very hard to design for. It basically involves creating rhythm within play, and then slowly demanding the player to start performing actions faster and faster, building momentum until they're performing the actions faster than they could possibly think through them. It's hard to pull this off as a designer, but achieving this experience is deeply compelling in a game. Now, this is just a small set of non-conditioning ways to make games fun, and no good game relies strictly on one. Most of your favorites combine many of these elements. So to all designers and future designers out there, we have to get away from this increased reliance on Skinner box methods of compelling gamers to play our games. Engagement and compulsion are different things. Just because you can make an experience compelling...
What's up, Test Sprites and Storm K? What is this, LOL? This is a, I don't know, like, just like game design, I don't know, game design stuff or whatever. Just trying to make the game, like, more entertaining and, like, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I feel like I've described it like 6 times, but now I don't know. We're basically going over balancing. We're trying to like redesign balancing and to make it feel more engaging and also not get out of control like the economy. And so yeah, I'm looking into some resources or whatever to like. This is not game balancing, but this is just more like what are some good aspects that make a game engaging / fun. And low key, I think that yeah, this video is gold right here. I love it. Do you think your game should have enchantments to your items? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know how to incorporate that without that like feeling a little like too like I don't know, like too noisy in the gameplay, as in like too much / overwhelming. Maybe if we probably could do something like that, but introduce that like very, very late game. Well, not say it's a very late game, just a late game. But I don't think we're probably gonna do something like that. It can just be like cosmetic or fun, not necessarily for like better damage or something. Okay, I actually kind of like that. I like that cosmetic. Yeah, what do you think of Grow Garden 2 losing 9% of its players? I didn't even know it lost 90% of its players. But yeah, rip. If you need a team to help you with events, let me know. LL. I say it as a joke. Yeah, gotcha, man.
To make it a good game. Well, thanks for watching.
All right, that's it. All right, bets. Okay, look. All right, where's All right, now let's try to like actually map out progression a bit more, okay? So actually, hold on. So look, understanding slash comprehensiveness, okay? Then we got reward engagement. All right, this can be like basically hitting a noob adds to your rage, okay? Once rage bar is max. You can enter rage mode, which is like 4x knockback. And 2x damage. And stuff like that. All right. And that's one thing. That's only one thing that like is periodic things that happen in the game that kind of just make the game feel more engaging. So yeah, having like, okay, basically you punch noobs, right? And you're like, building up this rage bar at the bottom. Once it's max, you like probably have an aura that spawns in, and also you move a little bit faster. Yeah. Okay, and that's one reward engagement thing we have. Another one would be just like shoot. Honestly, like crate drops would just be one. Like noob crate drops. That happens like every like, I don't know, every 30 noobs. I want to say 20 noobs. It's like a 5% chance of happening. That could be like I got a crate that like, boost. What's another idea for like and then also just an event happening. So 1 hour event rotation. Boom. Okay. Now for game engagement, I think we need to actually make some like noob variation when it comes to action. So right now we have a noob variation in like in looks and maybe even some effects, but that doesn't really affect gameplay. Like you might, like this one is just stronger. That's it. It's stronger because it burns you. That doesn't change how you like hit it or try to like move around it. Okay. So new variation when it comes to gameplay. You have one that's like maybe faster. Okay. So that's a super basic variation. So we have a speed, like noobs that have like different speeds. Also, a necromancer noob, you definitely want to target those because they'll just keep on spawning more. So yeah, that could that definitely will affect the gameplay. So, different speeds. That's just one small one. Maybe like Necromancer. You know, that would affect gameplay. Also, noob abilities. Or maybe like how noobs spawn in. So we'll do like how noobs spawn in. Also, like map changes. I don't know. I feel like map changes. We have a lot of potential there. Okay. Do weekly updates if possible? Yeah, we probably will definitely be doing weekly updates. I think the game scope is tight enough to where we can do something like that, definitely. And not just content updates, but like yeah, we can do it, yeah. And that's game engagement. This like game engagement is just to like yeah, a big thing that I actually realized a big thing that I realized when playing this game called Gakuran. It's a weird it's a fighting game but with a social aspect. It's a very unique game. I like it. Yeah, there's the mobile player base is actually not crippled, okay? A lot of games or whatever, like they're really bad at their mobile players are really bad. It's just a fact. It's hard to play, stuff like that, but I played against I fought against Gakuran players who are playing mobile and they're like whooping my tail. And I'm not like the worst at PvP. So yeah, like I don't understand what's happening. But yeah, so maybe mobile players aren't actually handicapped. A lot of them are though. But there also are mobile players who are, you know, not crazy bad at Roblox. So basically, making the game understanding. Also, and now we could do like balancing. Okay, what are some balancing? Okay, we'll go back to balancing. Not everything has to actually not everything has to increase damage. Slash. Okay, the big thing that actually I think the one balancing thing that definitely is like knocking us down, as in making the economy just out of whack, I think is two things actually. And it's two of the most important things actually. There's three things, which is actually all the aspects, but it's making like how much money you make from rewards and stuff like that, and also how much XP you get. So XP, you know, you progress the game faster, therefore, like, you know, you get more buffs or whatever, even if those buffs are minor. If your XP is just off the rails, you know, being level 10,000 is going to make your strength, like, and money rewards just insane. Same thing for, you know, if your money rewards are insane, then you're going to be able to progress super fast and increase your strength super fast. So and then also damage. If you're doing a ton of damage, you're probably gonna be. Actually, damage. I think is actually the least important. If damage is off the rails, but you get like XP at a like stable rate, and you get your money reward at a stable rate, that's fine. So low-key, I think damage. Interesting. That I haven't thought about that. Research shows that 60 to 70% of players are mobile. Yeah. Mobiles are basically the biggest thing on like Roblox, definitely. From playing your game, I thought your tutorial was too long. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah. I was low key thinking the same thing. Like the tutorial. I mean, I think the tutorial should be like different. Hold on, let me change camera angle so we can actually be make the stream a bit more engaging. Okay. Yeah, tutorial. Look, I think the onboarding tutorial, which is like the tutorial you feel and experience, like, oh, I'm going through a tutorial. That should probably be like a minute long. Okay, show you like basically go to stage 1, start hitting noobs, get money, make an upgrade, boom, tutorial is done. Okay, but the tutorial, like the background tutorial, like keep on going or whatever. So all your GUI pops up, you're playing the game like normal. Whenever you reach certain benchmarks, the tutorial, quote unquote, will like kick in again and say like, yo, it'll suggest you to go to like, go, buy the next stage or whatever, or spawn in the boss. And then like so yeah, I think like the first tutorial should be very small, but then like benchmarks, to like guide the player will like periodically kick in once you reach them. The tutorial should feel like actually learning the core game and not having to beat noobs for 5 minutes without wanting, even though you can skip it. Yeah. Yo, what's up, crap mine? Also, make it hard to progress. Your leaderboards are cooked. Yeah, that's just like, that's the thing we're trying to fix right now. Make progression feel not too slow, but also don't make it crazy fast. Right now, it's absolutely off the rails. Okay, so honestly, we need to get probably number one thing. All right, if we have, okay, there's 3 areas that affect progression. You're not gonna be able to see this, but we have money, the rate you get money/reward, power, which is like damage. Hold on one second. All right, so we got money, power/strength, and then we'll do XP, which I'll turn on camera in a second. 1 second. Okay, these are kind of the pillars that kind of like set up our progression, right? And look, if we have money off the rails, you'll be able to also get power and strength off the rails because you're buying. Actually, not necessarily, because if let's say, could money be stable or unstable, and then power and strength be? Wait, I did power and strength, not XP, bro. What am I doing? All right, power and XP. EXP. Boom. So money, power, and XP. All right, we need like all right, 1 second. All right, bet. Are you writing this on a piece of paper? I'm writing on a, what's it called? A whiteboard. You should reset leaderboards when it officially releases. Yeah, we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be resetting when it officially releases, 100%. Money, power, and XP. So how do we get money? Okay, we get money. Let's just list all the ways we get money. So we get money through hitting noobs, not even flinging them, but just hitting noobs. You get money. Let's do. You also get money through like right now you get money through hitting noobs, leveling up, contracts. Okay. I know it's a whiteboard. I'm just saying you're writing like it's a little piece of paper. Oh yeah, dude. If I don't write like it's a little piece of paper, I mean, at first, I wrote like it was a big whiteboard, but then it just got way too messy, way too fast, bro. So like the longer you're working with a big whiteboard, the more you realize, wait, I gotta like condense this down so I have space for everything or whatever. So we got hitting noobs, leveling up, contracts. That's how you get money, okay? We're not gonna even have space for this. Gosh dang it. All right. Do power. How do you get power? Right now we have like you can upgrade items. And I think that's it. You can just upgrade items. And that's the only way. Yeah, that's the only way you get power. How do you get XP? All right, low-key, I think we're gonna like erase this part right here. This middle part. It's low-key kind of useless now. Not useless, but just not useful at the current moment. So erase this. Boom. All right. Perfect. An XP. How do we get XP? So we get XP, I think, by flinging noobs. And when you fling a noob, how else do you get XP? You fling noobs. Is that it? Is that all you get XP from? You fling noobs. And probably unlock new stages. Okay. Completing contracts. Okay. There's another one. Contracts. Let me see. It's got XP, money, and power. Now, also, what we got to figure out the purpose of cash. So, do cash and gems. What does cash do? What do gems do? I feel like gems. This is like actual progression. And gems will be like cosmetics. Boom. Boom. I think we low-key, that was it. It's just cosmetics. Gems are cosmetics. That's a very, very light marketing. No, I mean, if gems were the only premium currency, then actually, yeah, it would be a very light marketing like stance or whatever. Is it not like super aggressive? And what we want is an aggressive marketing like stance. I don't know if that's actually how to call it. Okay. Cash is for progression. Gems is for cosmetics. We kind of need to map out what cosmetics we have, but we'll do that later. Um. Yeah, I think that's good separation right there. All right, how do you get XP? Okay, how do you get these things will be on top. So we're going to switch this to kind of rectangles instead of out like underlines. All right, how they affect progression is under, and how you how do you get how you get these things are under, and how you multiply these things are above. So what multiplies XP? I think rebirths. Honestly, I don't think should, but right now I think we have it. So rebirths. And if so, rebirth actually that's okay. Rebirths. Wait, I DM'd you. Are you talking about me, Aiden? Are you talking about you DM me? Because I did just get a DM on Discord. Or are you talking to Green? You? Oh yeah, okay. So you can multiply your XP by rebirths, and maybe somewhere in the progression tree. All right, all of these things feel stable so far. Yeah, all these things feel stable. So XP is stable. Money, you can upgrade them with progression tree. You can upgrade them. I think that's it, actually. You can only upgrade through the progression tree. Yo, what? Yo, all these things look stable. So what are we getting wrong? Hold on. We'll continue to map it out fully, but like, yo, this is kind of frustrating. I don't understand where our game's going wrong, like off the rails. Because right now our progression is off the rails. It's completely off the rails. So you get money through... Alright, let's actually play the game for a second. What happened to being 19? It's a joke, but just wondering. Oh, no. I'm 20. I've been 20 for like probably as long as I've been streaming. I don't think I ever said I'm 19. If I did, it was a mistake. Just I guess out of habit maybe, because I used to be 19. Last to respond to your DM, Aiden. Alright, so we got contracts. These don't even give you XP really, but they should. Okay, get a crate. Oh, I can actually make some crates. Alright, 1 second. Alright, let's see the, let's click on this right here. Prestige, +1, 40k, maybe just like the increase. Yeah, okay. 1 second. Progression tree, and that's like literally it. Oh, and probably rebirth as well. But like, it's a very, very... Okay, and then how you increase power, or how you... Wait, this is upgrade items. Hitting noob, something up. Multiply power. There's no multiply to power. Dude, this is so weird. Alright, I'm gonna be back in like 2 minutes. But yeah, this is low-key perplexing. Don't know what is happening, but yeah, I'm gonna mute up for a second. BRB. Wait, I just saw a chat that I want to answer. I don't play Roblox, but do weapons have special kill effects on hit effects at all? Just curious. Maybe. We might have like kill effects be purely like cosmetic based and not based on like what item it is. So let's say you buy like void kill effect through the shop or whatever, like regardless of your item, like let's say you could have the void bat. But if you like it's yeah, so undecided right now, you know, maybe weapon dependent, but I think we're gonna do like purely cosmetic, like based on what you buy or whatever. But yeah, that's to answer your question. Living on the corner. All right, coming back just for a second. I got one of the tasks done. I had to do one more thing, so we're about halfway through this AFK period. Just wanted to let y'all know. All right, BRB. Dude, holy mess, bro. I hate going AFK. But it's just, dude. Run back. Alright, yeah, let's go back on this progression trend, see what's going on. See if we can't figure it out. Yo, what's up, Devin? What's good, bro? Alright, look. Alright, there's no way to increase power. Okay, look. There's got to be something else in the equation. Let's bring up ChatGPT. Let's see if he can help us out. I say he. Right now it's a woman's voice on the thing. So it's kind of a she. Alright, bet. Alright, yo, ChatGPT, okay? I'm trying to map out progression, okay? Or like, what's it called? Trying to just, yeah, map out progression to make it more stable. You know, we've been having a conversation about it. And so I mapped out everything that, kind of is relevant to progression, okay? So we've got XP, alright? That affects, progression because, you know, the higher you level up, you know, like, you can do more things. You can probably, like... Actually, I don't know. Wait, hold on. What is XP's relevance? Hold on. Don't say anything yet. Let me just try to think about this.
Sounds good. I'm here. Take your time.
XP gives rewards like progression points and stuff like that. So if you're level 1000 or whatever, you have a bunch of progression points. Those are permanent upgrades. So that'll throw off kind of like everything or whatnot. And there's probably some other things I'm not thinking of. But, so yeah, XP. We can't have XP go off the rails because, what's it called? Like, yeah, it would just affect progression poorly. Also, money. Money is a factor. This is cash or whatever. If a player is able to get like, you know, a ton, like millions, trillions of cash or whatever, they can upgrade their like rates of power / how fast they get XP. Just throws everything off, and then power / their strength. If power goes off the rails, then this one's actually like, I would say the more like least impactful. You know, if XP and money are stable and power's off the roof or whatever, the biggest thing is just one-tapping stuff. Like, one-tapping difficult noobs, yes, they give you a higher reward, but it won't cause everything to go completely off the rails, even if power is completely, like, just, like, totally unstable. But I think those are the three factors that kind of may, like, affect the game the most. And I listed two things for each category. One is how you get like that certain item, like how you get XP, how you get money, and how you get power. And then also above that, I put how you get or how, like, what can increase these things. Okay, what can increase you know, XP? What can you do to increase how much money you get and strength and stuff like that? And so basically, yeah, I'll just list them out. For XP, we've got how you get XP is by flinging noobs. This is basically just killing them or whatever. We're just using the word fling. Unlocking stages and contracts, okay? This is how you get XP, okay? How you get money is by hitting noobs, leveling up, and contracts. And then what's it called? Like how you get power is through items, and upgrading those items or whatever. You just get them through items. Now, how do you increase your XP? You can do that through the XP tree or through, like, whenever you rebirth, there's a tiny multiplier. Whenever you, how you can increase your money is through also rebirth. There's going to be a slight money multiplier and through, like, some upgrade tree boosts or whatever. And then also how you can increase your powers by upgrading items. Now, keep in mind, you know, we have different noobs or whatever, noob variations that give different, like, reward, like, amounts or whatever. So, like, a level 1 basic noob is going to give a very small reward compared to a level 10 magma / fire noob, okay? Like, those, yeah, rewards are, like, pretty substantially different. And, I think that's also part of the equation when, like, kind of mapping out these things. Or mapping out progression. So, and I didn't write that down. So I'm going to do noob reward variation. I should probably do variation reward, but yeah, okay. And I haven't mapped that out at all. But like when I was mapping out the first things like XP, money, and power, look, our current progression is totally off the rails. Okay, as in like we were having people who play the game for like over a couple days, and they're like having trillions, quadrillions of money. Their level is like in the thousands or whatever, and their power is just also insane. Like everything is completely, it's completely off the rails. And we're trying to fix that. But what I was noticing is when listing out the three factors like XP, money, and power, the ways how you get these things and the way you increase them don't sound like factors that would like throw off these things. Okay, for example, how you get XP or whatever is through contracts, unlocking stages, and flinging noobs. That's all very reasonable, right? Also, how these things like how you increase these things is through rebirth, which is just a small multiplier, and also upgrade tree, which is another small multiplier. Both these things very, very stable. Okay, same thing with money. How do you increase how much money you get? Rebirth has a small multiplier, and progression tree, literally the exact same thing. Very, very stable. Okay, and so like I'm thinking like where kind of the system might be going off the rails is maybe like noob reward variation, or maybe the rate of like, I don't know. It could be a couple other things, but I think possibly it's the noob reward variation. Like basically we need to like tune that a bit more. But before we get into that, I actually just want you to give maybe not like critique my current thoughts or whatever, but maybe like reveal some errors that, if any, when talking about progression about this game. Because I feel like, look, this is like, I'm telling you what I think, okay? But we still might have a problem that I might not see, okay? And I'm just wondering, do you see anything that like I might be missing or whatever that's pretty obvious that like I should, I don't know about when it comes to, balancing, getting this progression right or whatever, based on the information I've given?
Well, actually, I think you're asking exactly the right questions now. You're moving from what curve should I use to what systems actually drive progression. So, great shift. The biggest missing piece I see is the rate of gain. So, XP per minute, money per minute, not just total amounts. And I'd map the feedback loop. So, right now, power increases kill speed, which boosts money and XP, which boosts upgrades, which boosts power, and so on. So that loop needs clear soft caps or diminishing returns. And you need a clear hierarchy of progression systems. Like decide, is item power the main
All right, wait, hold on one
driver,
second.
or-
Yo,
Sure.
my nose is about to bleed. It's already bleeding, so I'm gonna be right back. Plug my nose or whatever. Yeah, so BRB. Yo, I caught that. Oh, I'm so loud. Yo, I caught that thing so early, bro. Holy. Yo, I get some nosebleeds like, I don't know, maybe like twice a month, just randomly. I don't know what's going on. It's been happening for like this past year. A little worrying, but it's whatever. But dude, I caught that so fast. Like, I like leaned over, I felt something or whatever, and I just do like normally like, like it gets like it's a very like, I don't know, a loose bleed, as in like it bleeds quite fast or whatever. And so normally like, dude, I'll be like sitting in the office or whatever, working, and it starts to bleed, and then like by the time I am able to get like a paper towel, like it's like a mess, bro. But yo, that was fast. Holy cow. All right, we're back. What's it called? This is fair to use though, although I would recommend an experienced playtester. Or so. Yeah, look, we've been playtesting the game. like people have been playtesting for the last like I don't know, almost a month I think, and so yeah, we're getting feedback through testing too, and that's our actually main point. Like playtesting is kind of showing what parts are broken. Um, it's a bit harder like to see like what like how to fix those problems. So that's where we're like all I'm doing with ChatGPT is kind of like gathering information and just like brainstorming alongside it, about how we can fix these issues. Now he's talking about Storm earlier. I doubt it's dry. Yeah, it's not dry. I mean, sometimes I bled because it's dry, but low key it's I don't know. Like I think something happened at like when I was like very young, like 8 or 9, where like I actually won't get into the story, but I think that like because I only bleed out of one nostril, and so it's like something that happened or whatever when I was younger. That just I think that's the reason why I bleed. Because I mean I've had nosebleeds before, like all throughout my life, that are just like very very easily like my sister my sister, she's 10 years younger than me. Okay, and I was like hit me in the face. We're at a restaurant. Just punch me in the nose very lightly. All right. She does it. Boom. Nosebleeds. And it was a funny story we used to like laugh about because like I'm like at this age, I'm probably like 17. She's 7 and she made my nose bleed. It was kind of funny. But yeah, it just happens every once in a while. But yes, I'm guessing it's happened. It's like something that happened when I was younger. Because yeah, it's only one nose and it was that nose that happened to it. But yeah. Anyways, back to game development or whatever. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Say that one again. But I am confused. You're saying like some sort of rate, okay? And you're saying like XP per minute, but that's not how you gain XP. You gain XP by hitting noobs or whatever. But are you saying this because like you're just tracking like I don't know, like is this like something I need to track or whatever?
Okay, let me check. XP per minute is a metric, not how players actually gain XP. It's a way to
Metric.
measure whether your system is balanced. So, for example, even if you never touch the XP reward values, if players suddenly kill twice as many noobs per minute because weapons got stronger, then their XP per minute doubles, even though the noob reward didn't change. So tracking XP per minute helps you notice when progression is speeding up too much or slowing down too much. And same with money. So instead of focusing on how much a magma noob pays out, focus on how much money per minute a mid-game or late-game player earns. That tells you if progression is healthy, and if not, where it's leaking. So it's not a new mechanic, just a ruler to measure with. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is to help track like this is all aspects of like the gameplay or whatever. So it's gonna be um like a late game, early game, and yeah. So this will actually help us track all these things. Okay, uh, money per minute, XP per minute. Okay, bet. Wait, can you like basically just to describe this to my friend whenever I pitch these ideas, specifically the idea of like let's make some sort of metric or whatever where it's like XP per minute. What this like actually does for us when helping us trying to figure out progression. In a simple way to where I can kind of remember it, so I can like pitch to him whenever I talk to him about it.
Sure. So I describe it like this. XP per minute and money per minute are like speed gauges for your game's progression. So if those speeds suddenly jump or crawl, you know exactly where to look. So it's a simple way to spot whether balance is drifting and adjust before things explode. And I think the simplest way to phrase it is we're not measuring how much players earn, we're measuring how fast they earn it. That one line is your anchor. And then you
Thanks. Okay, thank you,
tweak
thank you,
new.
thank you. That's it. We're taking a
Yeah.
break. We're taking a break. All right, bet. Back also not watching your stream on YouTube. The delay, yo, mega rip. Yeah, I know YouTube's got a bit of a delay. Yo, rip the YouTube viewers. Very, very sorry. All right, yeah, I want to ping Cobalt, even though I don't even have much time. Wait, actually, I'm just gonna unmute. Yo, Cobalt, are you here?
Like kind of. What's up?
Oh, yo, what's it called? I've been basically mapping out not like progression solutions, but basically like mapping out aspects of the progression that we have and what like affects it.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm more ready to have a conversation whenever you're ready. But have you watched those videos that I've sent you?
No, not yet, dude. I've been Loki just got back, and I'm gonna be leaving soon. Ah,
Okay, bet. I'm like ending this work session in about 20 minutes. But then I'm gonna like come back tonight and probably do another stream. I'm gonna go to the
okay.
gym, draw, eat supper, just do some stuff. So I'm gonna be gone for like 3 hours.
That sounds good. I have soccer till like 9, so I'll be on at 10. I got like work stuff to do, but I'll be doing both at once.
Oh, okay, yeah, bet. So do you think like all right, which one sounds better for you? Like we schedule like a little time, like let's say maybe an example would be like, all right, 10 p.m. we like, you know, go and call and like talk about progression for at least or like maximum 30 minutes to an hour. Or do you just want to schedule something for tomorrow?
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Yeah, around 10, I'll be back. So
Yeah, so we do it tonight, like schedule VC tonight.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, bet. Um,
I think around like 10ish.
all right, bet. Okay, I'll be in VC probably like earlier, but like we'll like I'll ping you around that time.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
I bet. Looking forward to it. That's
Yeah,
it.
same, bro. All right, got you.
Yeah, rip, bro. Cobalt is sounding a bit sick, or I don't know about sick. He's just like definitely like dead. That's for sure. Whatever he just did, he's definitely worn out. That's for sure. What happened to your voice? Wait, did my voice? My voice should be the same. Okay. No noise. Sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. All right. I think when it comes to kind of like, yeah. Low key, those. Oh, yo, what happened? Oh no, to your nose? Oh, I was just like bleeding for a second. Nosebleed. All right, so I think so we're not going to talk about progression for like till 10 o'clock tonight, it looks like. Oh yeah, that's why I sound a little funny. So I think we're gonna go back to like actually like game building, like hard work. I separate hard work and soft work. Hard work is not like intensity, but it's more like actually doing stuff that is like building the game in the game or whatever. And then you have soft work is kind of like brainstorming, mapping stuff out, stuff like that, or just like talking about the game, stuff that's needed and that's very very important, but like isn't actually doing stuff like in the game or whatever to build the game. So I think we're gonna shift over to do some more hard work, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I think I know what I'm gonna do. So I listed it out earlier, and I think I just erased it. But we're gonna go into a new Roblox place. And I honestly should like be done. Like I should be okay now. I'll take the tissue out in a second. But yeah, I think we're going to a new Roblox place and build basically like a animation handler slash VFX handler and get these abilities or whatever just in or whatever, and we'll kind of see what happens. Bad news for me. What's up? I gotta go eat. Yo, rip. It's all right. I mean, stream's only lasting for another 6 minutes. My bad. Yeah, we're basically ending stream like right now. I say right now. I'm gonna do like 10, 15 minutes of work, and then just setting it up, and then I'm gonna go to the gym. No, I'm gonna eat first, draw for like 30 minutes, then go to the gym. I'm gonna say for like an hour and a half. So maybe like I'll be back in 3 hours.